A new bombshell report from Congress itself finds that $516 billion of annual federal spending goes to programs whose legal authority from Congress has expired. In some cases, it expired 40 years ago. Now, for perspective, $516 billion is roughly 7 times the income tax paid by the bottom half of Americans on expired programs. The study is from the Nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, which finds 2,500 expired appropriations that continue getting funded like zombies by Congress. So when Congress creates a program or agency, it has to give it legal permission called authorization. This sets the goals, objectives, and limitations of each program or agency. It's often for a fixed period, after which technically Congress no longer legally recognizes the program for funding, unless it is reauthorized, which requires a fresh vote by Congress. Now that matters because the fresh vote is where Congress has to take responsibility for the program. Is it actually achieving its goals and objectives? Being the federal government, the answer is almost certainly no. So instead, Congress just keeps the money flowing and nobody says nothing. It's shady, but it also means obsolete programs keep getting funding, apparently for generations. The programs are pretty much what you'd expect. $94 billion on, quote, education and workforce, including $10 billion for, quote, workforce innovation and $8 billion for left-wing universities. $62 billion on, quote, foreign affairs, which we are now seeing from USAID is almost entirely grift. $32 billion in, quote, science, space, and technology. You may remember them back when you couldn't use the word vaccine online. $53 billion in, quote, financial services, so no Wall Street bankers left behind. And $53 billion in expired programs of Homeland Security and the Department of Justice to keep Patriot Front in clean pants. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. We already know the federal government is corrupt and wasteful, although I think many Americans, including me, are surprised just how bad it is. The key question is, can Trump refuse to spend money on expired programs? In other words, can he book a quick $516 billion of savings? Now, Washington's habit has, of course, been to spend everything, but legally, any program without authorization lacks what's called legislative intent. Essentially, it's as if they accidentally funded an expired program. That would mean Trump decides which ones deserve funding in his role as fiduciary steward of the federal government, potentially striking hundreds of billions of waste and fraud. This matters because Democrats are planning to use upcoming budget negotiations to try and strong-arm Trump into, among other things, crippling the DOJ anti-corruption crusade. Thing is, if Dems play hardball and block a budget, it means an additional $900 billion of spending authorization also expires, including the entire military budget. If that happens, almost the entire discretionary budget loses legislative intent, pretty much everything aside from Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid. The taxes would still flow in, so Trump would have plenty of money to spend, in fact too much, but Congress will have essentially said they have no opinion what he spends it on, if he spends it at all. In Trump 1.0, the left ran circles blocking him with lawfare. So far in Trump 2.0, we are seeing Trump and Elon running circles around the left. If they lawyer this right, we could see historic cuts to the federal government, something polls say 3/4 of Americans very much want. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.